This is a Pilsener brewed by the Chalkies Brewery. It's a Cornish beer. 5.2% alcohol by volume. They used Czech yeast and Sarts hops.
But there's a little bit of the yeast in it and a little bit of passion fruit. That's what I'm smelling from it.
Pear, it is. I
was tempted to say apple, but it's not apple, it's pear.
Fairly clear, it's a nice golden yellow colour. Got a pleasant aroma, a pleasant taste to it.
It's very clean, it's very crisp.
But you're not a Pilsner fan?
I'm not a Pilsner fan, but I could drink this. This is fine.
I mean, like you said, it's mostly crisp. And what I'm always looking forward to is some proper maltiness, you know, and I'm missing that.
It has a bit more of a winey sort of champagniness that you get from the really, really pale lagers. And not so much, like you said, it just completely lacks malt.
It could use some more bitterness. I just want more hops. That's what I want, always. I like it.
I'd want more ambient temperature. It's a bit too cold today for a Pilsner.
No, it's never too cold for beer, huh?
No.
No, that's true.
I didn't say that.
Another beer from Chalkies Brewery, Chalkies Bark, naturally flavoured with fresh ginger, 4.5% ABV.
Much more aroma to it.
Spicy lemon fruit nose, citrus fruitness in the mouth.
It reminds me a lot of sort of English hops. I don't know exactly which one, but Challenger or
oh yeah,
Fuggles,
it could be
maybe
something like a Fuggles, yeah.
Sits quite well with the ginger.
I kind of can smell the ginger maybe, but I don't know if I can quite taste it.
The ginger's in there, it's in there in the pepperiness. I don't get the lemon hint on the nose at all. It does taste a little musty to me. The citrus is there after you swallow and exhale through your nose. It's got its own character, but it's not something I want to sit down and make friends with.
I might need a warmer one.
Well, there's a question. If it was warmer, would it change its character and its profile?
I mean, it most certainly would, but in which way? That's the question.
Yeah, it could bring out something you definitely don't want.
Or something I would want and you wouldn't. This one is a rice beer made by Hitachino Nest. It's got 7% ABV. I think it has some woody, almost smoky quality to it.
Smells like there's a rice smell.
Is it not that roast rice tea?
Yeah, like if you burn the rice a little bit, maybe. Yeah, it smells a little bit sweet. For me, it really tastes lovely. I'm really impressed.
It's a bubblegum spice blend.
I think that's definitely the best so far.
To be honest, I really don't like it.
But you can taste a bit of rice. What do you think?
Yeah, it's that initially it came on that roast rice. Yeah, and I like it.
Considering that it has 7% ABV, it's smooth. This one is another beer by the Kiuchi Brewery, Ibaraki Japan. It's a pale ale, 5.5% ABV.
Big American roasty, malty beer initially.
Basically smells like a fresh loaf of bread.
You think? I get a little bit of toffee or caramel.
Like a sweet loaf.
I'm getting some smoky elements to this, a little bit of sour lactic response as well.
To be honest, I pretty much enjoy the aroma on this one, but it's a bit too dry, you know. I'm expecting a bit more sweetness.
I think it needs a little bit more sweetness to balance it out.
So the aroma promises a lot, but I feel like it delivers. It's a pale ale. It's supposed to be somewhat subdued.
What craft beer is supposed to be about, at least if you ask me, is pushing the edge, you know?
I understand what you mean, pushing the edge. I understand with the IPAs and the imperial stouts and blah blah blah. But for a pale ale, I always have to dial back my expectations.
For me, craft beer is not just about pushing the boundaries. That's just one edge of the movement, and that's quite a visible edge. It's more about making the beer that you like to drink yourself and share with your mates and friends.
This is my favourite.
That's your favourite.
To be honest, this is my favourite.
For me, this is the same as the Pils. The two of them are good, but you know,
each to their own styles. Yeah, I agree. The standout still for me is the Japanese one. As far as new flavours, something really...
The red rice one.
Red rice one, exactly. And this is great. It's got that big American roasty maltiness, but the hops are not my favourite.
This is the third and last beer made by the Kiuchi Brewery. It's a sweet stout. It's been brewed with lactose. It's a milk stout. It's got 4.0 ABV.
What do you expect normally from a stout in the first place?
A roasted flavour. I look for a good body, and then afterwards I look for a third characteristic, and that's a bonus. That might be like a chocolate characteristic or some dry hopping, or usually not sweetness.
For me, it's basically the other way around. I mean, first and foremost, I'm looking for some coffee-like or chocolatey characteristics.
For me, that's a porter. If it's not like, for me, a stout is always dominant on the roast, and then it might bring in chocolate.
Well, but roastiness basically equals or can equal coffee-like flavours.
Okay, let's break it down into the flavour of the roasted barley, which gives a very distinctive roasted flavour. Maybe that's it. It approaches a porter still for me. There's a little bit the sweetness, and there's some kind of.
Oh, but this is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is gorgeous, but it goes towards a porter. Yeah. It's very rich.
Who really knows what a porter is actually supposed to be? And that's been lost in time.
The thing is, a porter is simply defined as a black beer that's not stout in essence.
Yeah, it's also been described as being a mixture of 3 different types of beers all at the same time. But given this beer, except for the carbonation, which I find to be very, very fine, there is a silky smoothness to this in the mouthfeel. Very, very nice. It has a coffee finish to it, but it's not a strong coffee finish, which is an aftertaste as opposed to being up front. And that is actually really quite pleasant. It's almost like having a milky smooth beer.
I'm not a fan of milk stout, and this still appeals quite a lot.
There's so much else happening there with the roasty notes, the coffee notes, the mouth feel from the body. These things are happening that sweetness is really sort of just an after note.
Yeah, this is like a really good coffee with a little bit of brown sugar, just a small bit of brown sugar in it.